Hey guys, this is Hawk. Welcome to the channel, and we're back to our murder mystery. Give me a thumbs up in chat if you can hear everything okay. While I wait for the thumbs up, because of course there's always a delay, I'm going to go ahead and jump us back into the game.
Aye, detective.
All right. Before we keep going here, I just want to make sure that all of the audio is okay. All right, I do believe that we are good to go. All right, so this is where we left off last time. We were talking to Archibald, who of course just said, "I detective," and then we've got the options of searching the guest bedrooms, and we've got some additional questions to ask him. So I guess before we meander off to visit the guest bedrooms, let's ask him these couple of questions. So when you returned to the study last evening, did you notice anything different from our previous visit? Oh, before we jump into that conversation topic, hello to those of you in chat. So far I see Steph. I don't know if Geeks and Nerds is present today, but anyways, so welcome to the stream. So, all right, Archibald, when you returned to the study last night, did you notice anything different from our previous visit?
Nothing. But I was so preoccupied with the Major. Sorry, detective. Should I have?
Perhaps it was just my mind playing games again.
Maybe one of the guests got lost and wandered in.
So, I think what we're talking about here, if I'm not mistaken, Felix was killed in there and they moved the body and no one was supposed to be in the room. And when we went back in this morning, we found out that the contents of the room had been disturbed. There was papers all over the place. And so I think that's what we're asking about right now. So this is Archibald saying maybe one of the guests got lost and wandered in. If a guest had taken a wrong turn, finding themselves in the Major's bedroom first, I am sure they would not have proceeded through the next door unless they were not lost at all. Okay. All right. Who has access to the safe in the Major's study?
Master Hagen had a key, obviously, and Lady Vandenbosch.
So we knew that already, but we also know that Archibald has a key. They mentioned previously that there were 3 keys. Felix had one, Madame Vandenbosch had one, and they said that Felix was given one as well because the Major had asked him to place stuff back into the safe. So he's not being entirely forthright. Monsieur Demire was quite sure Archibald... Oh, guess I should have kept going. Monsieur Demire was quite sure Archibald also had a copy of the key. It is not something one would easily forget. Regarding access to the safe, have you seen its contents before?
When requested, aye. If something is required from there when Master Hagen is not around.
Forgive me. If he is not around, how is it you access this safe?
It's not what you think, detective.
What I think is that you have been trusted with a copy of the key, and you have lied to me about it.
Treachery!
I only lied because of the trouble I can get into with Lady Vandenbosch.
At this moment, monsieur, you should be more worried about the trouble you shall find yourself in with the law.
Ooh, he's being very forthright here.
I know how it will sound, but I lost my key. I must have set it down somewhere, and it has been tidied away. Master Hagen asked so rarely for me to go in the safe, I didn't think it would be missed.
Convenient that you lost your key. Monsieur Sterling's story of his lost key strikes me as rather coincident. I read this guy's mail beforehand. I know everything he's going to say. His story strikes me as rather coincidental. The major safe is broken into with documents ransacked and letters involving Madame Vandenbosch's secret left out. It is a crime with no apparent purpose. All right, there's a matter regarding the contest that we must discuss.
I should have said this morning. I'm sorry.
Monsieur, I am not quite sure you understand the severity of what has happened.
I am well aware, Detective. I just thought she would be able to help.
Would you allow a man with a smoking gun to remove his bullet from a victim's chest?
I suppose not.
I understand that Monsieur Sterling was only trying to help, but surely he must have seen what it could do for the integrity of my investigation. Ah, there's geeks and nerds. Welcome to the stream. All right, I'd like to search the guests' bedrooms.
Is that really necessary?
The murderer remains at large, and there is still no sign of the weapon. I would say that makes them essential.
Of course. I still just cannot imagine any of them being guilty of his murder.
It may be hard to imagine, but it is the truth. I would like to begin my searches now. Since it is closest, I will start with the west wing.
I may not be back when you return. Here is the key to the other rooms. Please return it when you're done.
Sure, you got that key, but you don't have the key to the safe.
Merci. I shall guard it with my life.
First, let us pay the Countess a visit. Why? Why do we want to talk to the... Oh, we got a new mind map? Before I can accuse anyone of any crime, I must be sure if they were working alone or with another. This is a perfect opportunity to find evidence of any collusion and look for the murder weapon. Let's do it. All right. Archibald allowed Margot to check the body, and then he gave us the key to the west... Or the rooms. All of our other mind maps are done, right? Or we don't have... Yeah, there's a couple that we've been... So investigating the blackmail has gotten very sidetracked. That's actually what we're here for. And now we're 6 chapters in and we still don't have any links in there. And of course the murder. And then this is the new one for the evidence. All right, so... So now here's the question. Where are these rooms? You know what? There were some rooms over here... Oh, but he wanted to talk to the That's not the Countess. She's upstairs. I suppose we will go talk to Madame Vandenbosch in our fancy Ronald McDonald shoes. No, we won't, because it doesn't let...
Oh.
Okay, well, that's where I thought she was. Alright, well, let's check these rooms then. I think these were... Yeah, here's Margot. I guess we must have looked at that before. All right, Margot's bedroom. I should make myself known before entering. Or you could just barge in, that'd be more fun.
Entrez.
The Countess's room. It would be rude not to address her before searching her room. But I'd rather search first. I mean... Okay, I guess we'll talk to her. If that's what you want to do.
Detective, what a pleasure. I did not expect to see you in my chambers.
It is most definitely not for the reason you're thinking.
In a purely professional capacity, I can assure you.
I should have written some of these parts in this story.
There is no need to act so stiff, detective.
We're gonna gloss over that statement.
Madame, after the revelation of your actions last night, I'm afraid my sense of humor is all but gone.
I will not apologize again for merely trying to help. Shall we get straight to it then? Let us not waste your time any further, detective.
I saw you conversing with one of the young servants yesterday.
That would be Inga. She has been one of the most promising young women that has come from the shelter.
Madame Vandenbosch took in a young lady from your shelter.
There is no need to sound so surprised, detective. She does have a heart.
I did not mean to sound so cruel. I just did not expect Madame to hire someone of that background after the incident with her previous maid, Florette.
There it is, Florette. I could not remember that lady's name. Now we know.
People change, detective. You should not judge someone on their past actions.
Believe me, Countess, I know that only too well.
I commend you on your dedication with the women you help. It is most honorable.
Be careful, detective. That almost sounded like a compliment.
It is your actions in this house that have been questionable, madame. Your work outside is something that many more could take note of.
We do what we can.
Have you been able to find many of the girls from the shelter work?
We wouldn't be doing a very good job if I could only help one girl. I in fact found work for one of them as a maid in Monsieur da Silva's house recently.
Is that Ernesto's last name? Da Silva. Getting lost between all of these names, because they mostly use their first names, and then occasionally they throw in their last names like this, and I don't remember them.
She has fitted into Monsieur's home well.
What is better, detective? That she remained in an abusive house, or she is able to rebuild her life with an honest wage in a prosperous house?
When put like that, is she happy in her position?
The happiest she has been in years. I check in with them all as often as possible. And if there was a problem, I would know.
I am glad to hear that more girls are building a better future for themselves, and it is with help from the Comtesse that it has been able to happen.
Merci, madame.
Okay, let's snoop now. Here's a gramophone. The wonders of modern technology. I guess in that time it probably was. What a joy it must have been, or must be, to have music in one's home. Perhaps the happy couple's engagement has someone in a particularly romantic mood. Ooh, is she reading a trashy romance novel? Well, it says romance novel, it doesn't say trashy. Plants lean and rely on each other to survive, something we as a species could take... I think he said that before. Let's look out the window. That's the same thing he normally says about those two. Like I said, I think there's an achievement tied to certain things, like staring out all of the windows in the house. Package. Perhaps a present for the family as a thank you for their hospitality. A first aid kit. First aid kit full of medical equipment, bandages, plasters, antiseptics, and a pair of scissors. She was expecting an all-out brawl here if she brought that along. Grandfather clock.
Oh.
The time and skill it takes to build such a wonderful piece, it is an art form. He said that before, too, as a matter of fact. Oh, and here's another fireplace. The cozy, roaring fire. Can we play the piano yet? The chance to play is very tempting, but I shall save myself the embarrassment. No piano. Anything over here? There's letters on the desk. Can I read them? No. Okay, well, so far, there's not really a whole lot of stuff in here. Oh, we've got to talk to Margot again? That's our current objective, is talk to Margot. All right, Margot?
Go ahead, detective.
Perhaps I was a little rash with my response to you examining the Major's body.
A compliment and now an apology. Well, detective, you certainly have changed your tune.
There was something I was still unsure of. You mentioned that your training was some years ago.
From my days as a nurse, oui.
If that is so, why would you have brought several pieces of equipment usually found in a physician's bag?
One must always be prepared, detective.
Prepared? At an engagement celebration?
If I had not brought them, I would not have been able to assist you last night. Perhaps you should be thankful for my precaution and not so suspicious.
And had she not brought them at all, I would not have to ask such a question.
Merci, madame.
All right, now let's check the mind map. No links. Okay, let's go search some other rooms then. To next guest room. It's weird that it took me directly there. Like, it didn't take me back out to the hallway. All right, the ever-guarded Jacqueline Conrad. It is time I should question her on her conversation with the Major before searching her room. Him and this being courteous and, announcing himself before he just starts snooping is just getting exhausting.
Detective, what can I do for you?
Mademoiselle, I am sure you understand my reasoning for such intrusion.
If it's going to clear my name, be my guest.
If you wouldn't mind answering some questions, it can hopefully be cleared faster.
I'd like to start with your relationship with the Major.
Like I said, he's not the man he wants everyone to think he is.
Oui, but how is it you came to that conclusion?
You don't really want me to recount every conversation I've had with him, do you?
There is one particular I had in mind.
Tell me about your argument.
An argument would imply it was a two-way conversation.
And that is not how it was?
Here it is. I've been helping Angeline get exposure, her marriage to Gideon is big news, and his work is really paving the way for others. I saw the chance to get their names out there, and he didn't like it.
What was there not to like?
Your guess is as good as mine, Detective. But if I had to, I'd say he was jealous it wasn't his name at the top of the article.
And his reason to storm off?
Oh, you know about that. Let's just say I didn't accept his pathetic attempt to get me to stop the story. If you're gonna try and pay someone off, at least make it worth their while.
I thought the Major would only be supportive of Mademoiselle Angeline. There must be more to why he would not want her success to be known. Makes a valid point. Because, of course, we found out in the last episode that the Major was actually Mademoiselle Angeline's father. Scandalous. All right, I am sure you've grown weary of this subject, but Monsieur Beckers.
You've really got a fascination with that guy, huh?
I would not say fascination. An interest, perhaps.
Well, I'll save you the bother of trying to find out more about him. He's not that interesting. In fact, he's a bit of a wimp if you ask me.
That is not the impression I got of him.
That's because you've only seen the side of him he wants you to. He knows what to say in front of the right people. But behind closed doors, he's clueless.
Clueless in what way?
Let me guess. The first thing he told you was that he was a union leader. No, the voice of the people.
A man that is proud of his work is not something to be sneered at.
Don't get me wrong, he has a way with words, and he can certainly rally a crowd. But that's about it. At the end of the day, he's a representative and nothing more. He's got to play the part, not just learn the lines.
Mademoiselle does not think particularly highly of Monsieur Beckers. She is a strong, independent woman, but to use the term wimp is an unnecessary attack on his character.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall leave you to relax.
Sure thing, Detective. And if you change your mind on that exclusive about that shooting...
If I do change it, you shall be the first to know.
Yay, let's snoop. Is this the room we were in at the very beginning? Because I think so, because it looks like I've already looked out the window. Yeah, I think this is the one that they brought us in when there was this whole, like, kerfuffle at the beginning when they couldn't figure out. Everybody was very confused because they were short-staffed and everything like that. All right, cluttered workstation. Jackie has set up a makeshift office in her room. She must bring her work with her everywhere. Mr. Artigue spotted leaving the Velvet Tickle Friday at 23:15. Camber House has been poaching off neighboring land, boar, deer, and duck. Maggie to follow up. Mrs. Bonte found her husband in their marital bed with with a young maidservant. Testament from maid needed. Mr. Denault overheard in the Cackling Crow speaking poorly of King Leopold. He said questionable ideas. We say doubtful, skeptical, shady. Notes from Francis by Monday. So these are just kind of like article notes. All right. What else we got here? So we've already looked at the fireplace. Ooh, pocket knife. I presume this belongs to Jackie. Chasing a good story may lead her into some precarious scenarios. I was going to say, it looks like we've already looked into the cupboard as well. Nothing of interest. All right, what's on this little desk? Newspaper. Among them, a recent article by Jackie Conrad about the riots linked to Ernesto's factory. Peaceful strikes turns to loss of lives as violence breaks out on front line. Following the tragic events in the city that has darkened the spirits of the people and brought to a screeching halt the rising defiance of the working class, the area has been cordoned off and police presence at the scene has increased. Factory security forces have been asked to step down and the powers handed over to law enforcement services. Workers laid down their tools, switched off all machinery and stood together shoulder to shoulder as the fight for fair pay and conditions raged on. What started as a peaceful protest by those employed at the factories has turned into a battle of class, with support for the workers coming in from all over the city. Although reports have not been confirmed, sources state that violence broke out following a second wave surge of supporters. Official numbers have not been published, but it is believed that as many as 8 workers have lost their lives in the fighting. The workers' front line has been considered as a representation of the people and working class of Belgium that now refuse to work in such demanding conditions for such a demeaning and insufficient wage. Chief Commissioner LaRue has confirmed that the outbreak of violence and resulting civilian deaths are being investigated for an official statement, and an official statement is to be made in the coming days. Jacqueline Conrad. Huh, she's a good writer. Another gramophone. Ooh. Listen to it. It just played. I don't remember that happening on any of the other gramophones. So do I have to talk to her again now? Yep. So I guess this is going to be the thing, is that we're going to go into a room, we're going to talk to the person, we're going to search the room, and then talk to them again.
Go right ahead, Detective.
I was surprised to learn Monsieur de Silva and the Major worked together.
All Felix cared about was money and filling his pockets with it. That's why he got into bed with De Silva.
The Major was not in need of money, though.
Need and want are two very different things. Did he need to move here and leech off the Madame? No, but he wanted to.
Tell me your opinion of their work together.
As far as I know, De Silva hired him to work security. He was worried what could happen to his precious factories if things got ugly.
And your reporters were there to cover the story when it did turn that way.
My reporters go where there is news to be told.
And you predicted the violence that occurred?
Anyone could see that was gonna happen. If you ask me, Hugo should have acted sooner.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall leave you to relax.
Okay. Let's assume we're going to the next bedroom. Yep. Nothing else. Here we are in Mademoiselle Angeline and Gideon's room. I wonder what we shall find. There's nobody here to talk to in this one. What is this? This yellow thing looks like a scuba diving suit. Alright. Anything about the shoes? Anything about letters laying here? Gideon's room is pristine.
Huh.
I could have mistaken it for my own. Another drinks globe.
Oh.
Alright, he said the same thing there as well. Let's look out the window and talk about the fallen snow again. Because we need the shiny achievements, Mr. Geeks and Nerds. Shiny achievements. Grandfather clock. Time and skill. Blah, blah, blah. I'm stuck. I can go around this thing. Nope, can't go through there. This room has a very specific path, apparently. Fireplace? Alright, what is this thing? Photograph. Hey, achievement unlocked. Gideon Demir. Speaking of shiny achievements, it seems they used to be closer. Perhaps their recent behavior was merely a facade. Could it be possible that Gideon collaborated with Zachariah? Ooh, the brothers. Oh, that's a cute photo. Play the piano? Nope. All right, check the drawers. There does not seem to be anything of interest in here. Okay, as far as I'm aware, we're done here. Yep. Well, I mean, there's nobody to talk to anyway. I think I looked at everything. Yep, shining achievements. Yahoo! With all the west guest rooms searched, I should make my way to the guest rooms on the east side of the first floor. There must be evidence of collusion somewhere. Let's go. Let's do it. We checked all these things. Can't go in that room. Are these the rooms? Can we go in here? I didn't remember that this is where this was. I'm guessing there's nothing here for us to look at again. Wait, why did we not see this before? Scrapped paper.
Huh.
Oh, achievement unlocked. What else did I miss? It literally just asked if I missed this before. There does not seem to be anything of interest in here. Okay. Well. Doesn't look like I missed anything else. I thought something flashed up when I was walking around this vicinity. Maybe it was just that exit. Do I get to explore the servants' rooms? I don't know. Right now he's just talking about guests. So I guess we'll find out. To the storeroom. We've not been there. Okay, so he said first... Wait, how did we get up here? It just dawned on me. This is the Countess's bedroom down here. It wouldn't let us go up to this floor. Because we were down on the floor with the library, I think it was. Sneaky game. I remember there being a wing. Oh. Are you Inga or... Yeah.
Mademoiselle, we meet again.
Bonjour, Monsieur Poirot. Pardon, Détective Poirot.
Just a detective is quite all right.
Bon, can I help you with something?
It was you that alerted the house to the Major's body, was it not?
I was taking him a plate of food, but he didn't answer to my knocking.
You then entered the study.
I did. He wasn't moving. He just lay there.
I did not mean to upset you again. Seeing him there would be troubling for anyone, and I'm sure it is not a memory you wish to relive.
Tell me about your relationship with the other staff.
I suppose we're like a family. We argue, but most of the time we get along.
You must all be quite close, then.
Some more than others.
You refer to whom, mademoiselle?
Well, Maman Rihanna, she's been here the longest, and she's very close with Lizzie on account of Luke.
Lizzie. When she says Lizzie, I think she is probably talking about the maid Elizabeth. Because I think that Madame Vandenbosch, her first name is Cassandra, and the daughter's name is Angeline. So she's not talking about the members of the family. So Lizzie must be the maid. How is it? Oh, jeez. How is it Mademoiselle Elizabeth's late fiance connects them?
Maman Ray is Luke's sister. You didn't know that?
Oh. That I did not know.
I thought she would have said. She talks about him all the time. It must have been awful, losing him in those riots. Apparently, he was right at the front when they were charged. They didn't stand a chance. If I had been the one responsible for his death, I wouldn't want Maman Ray looking for me.
Wait a second. So, am I understanding that correctly? So did Luke die in these factory riots? Wow, this puts some new motives in play, does it not? Because I assume that Rihanna then, and potentially Elizabeth, would be angry about the fact that Luke is dead and this is Felix's Ernesto's factories. Felix just did the security, but she probably would not have been happy at Ernesto or Felix. Ooh, the plot thickens.
Mademoiselle Rihanna, Maman Ray, she has expressed her desire for revenge.
Every time she talks about what happened.
Ooh, revenge. How is it that the knowledge of Luke's death has eluded me for so long? The death of a brother is certainly motive enough. Oh wait, did they say brother? For some reason I thought Luke was her son. Okay. You're confused too? Well, join the club. I did not see an aggressive side to Mademoiselle Rihanna when we spoke. By the way, we got another shiny achievement, Rihanna Piet, I believe. But I wonder if she would act on such impulses for revenge if the opportunity arose. Ooh. If you do not mind me inquiring, what brought you to the women's shelter?
I guess you wouldn't know anything about life on the streets.
It is not an experience I have had to face personally, but I understand that many are forced into it, and the lifestyle that comes with it.
The lifestyle of a thief, you mean?
Put rather bluntly, oui.
You are the first officer that has not taken one look at me and pulled out their handcuffs.
Mademoiselle, I can see you have turned your life around, and I commend you on your efforts.
Without the Countess, I would probably be rotting in a cell somewhere.
There is an obvious alliance to the Countess, and an understandable one at that. So, of course, the Countess is, Margot, who keeps flirting with us.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Another mind map. Inga may seem nothing more than a young innocent maid, but there is something that she is withholding. If I am to solve the cases before me, I must learn what it is. Okay. So she's been added to the same mind map as Archibald. So it's not really a different one so much as they just give us some more data points on this one. But there's no links to be made. Oh, no, they did give us a different one. But still no links. Alright, so let's meander down the hall where we looked at the bear head previously. Can't go in this room. Where does this go again? The southeast quarter. Is this... Okay, Zachariah's bedroom. I know, there's so many mind maps, right? Now there's a servant one. I wonder if Monsieur Zachariah is as seemingly innocent as his brother. I should speak with him before searching his room. Curse you in this speaking with everybody before snooping.
Monsieur Demir, I hope you are feeling better today.
Nothing a good night's sleep couldn't fix.
Très bien. I wonder if you would be up to discussing certain matters with me.
Whatever you need.
I'm sorry if dealing with the Major's body brought up any familiar emotions.
I lost my taste for death a long time ago, but it had to be done. I'm certainly in no rush to be carrying a dead body again, though.
Most understandable. I shall extend the same gratitude to you as I did to your brother.
You've spoken to him already. How is he?
If you're just trying to catch up here or just joining us for the first time, they're talking about right now, Zachariah was in the war, and so he has some PTSD, and when they asked him to move Felix's dead body, Gideon was afraid that it brought up kind of those emotions again, so anyway.
Perhaps that should be a question you ask him yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
I spoke with your brother about your past.
I bet he had a lot to say. He always did have an opinion on the war.
When I say your past, I refer to your past as brothers.
Oh. Okay, well, what did he say?
It seems you both had the same sentiment for this party. Perhaps the bridges that you thought were once burnt are in fact primed to be reconstructed.
We'll see how probable that reconstruction is going to be. Until he sees my point of view, I don't know how we can move forward.
What is there for him to understand before the bond can be repaired?
He lost his friends in the war, the same as everyone. But somehow he has forgiven. I'm sorry, Detective, I can't. And Gideon just doesn't understand that.
After speaking with Monsieur Gideon about his brother's state of mind, I think the best thing for them both would be a reconciliation. There's something about Monsieur Zachariah's story that he's leaving out, though. The death of his friends and comrades weighs heavily on him. Your brother was talking with the Comtesse while in the salon. I was not aware they were so close.
Those two, close.
They must share something in common to be able to hold a conversation for the time they did.
If there is one thing I know about my brother, it's that he will not. No. He cannot be rude. He just doesn't have it in him.
Was it not your brother that punched Monsieur Hagen?
Ah, that's different. He was asking for it. If you put my brother in a room with 5 socialites like her, he would work his way around every single one of them, offering his full attention and finest manners.
Merci for your assistance, monsieur.
All right, snooping. Time for snooping. Here's a plant we haven't looked at. I'm sure there's a window we haven't looked out yet. Oh, it's over here.
Ah.
Another gramophone. There it goes again. It's such a happy song. Look at this ceremonial dagger. An ornamental dagger from Zachariah's time in the war. Nothing on that table, it looks like. Let's stare into the fireplace. Cigarette butts. The room is littered with mess. Cigarette butts discarded right next to the ashtray. And then probably a drinking globe. Oh, we can't look at that drinking globe. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's talk to Zachariah again, because I'm assuming we have to.
Always got time for my favorite detective.
There is a particular item I found while conducting my search.
The dagger. I wondered how long it would take for that to become an issue.
I shall give you the opportunity to explain the reason for it being here before I jump to any conclusions.
It was going to be a wedding gift for Gideon. I've maybe not been the best brother in recent years. I thought this could make up for some of it. After what happened to the Major, I thought it was a bit tasteless.
You did not see it fitting to tell me you were harboring a rather sizable knife in your room?
I wouldn't say harboring. And I wasn't expecting to be a suspect in a murder.
I guess to be fair, he's not the only person that has a knife in their room. Was it the... Margot had one? Or no, Jacqueline. It was Jacqueline, because he was talking about her being a reporter and getting into sticky situations.
Merci for your assistance, monsieur.
And I think the reason that's part of that's a curiosity, the knife, is because looks like there's matches on top of the fireplace. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. If I'm not mistaken, Felix was stabbed to death. Back to teleporting. Monsieur Becker's room. Without him here, I am free to search it. Ooh, yay, thank goodness. All right, photograph. With so many siblings, it must have been difficult for Hugo to get attention. Oh, he did say Becker's. That's right, that's Hugo. I was thinking this was Ernesto's room. Oh, wow. That is a big family. This one's Hugo, right here. Another window. We have to soon be at that... Hey, room with a view. Achievement unlocked. I was just going to say, we have to soon have looked out all the windows in the house. How about all the plants? Is that the last plant? No. Maybe that one doesn't have an achievement. I'm honestly not sure which ones did and which ones didn't. Apparently when they have these little end tables beside the pokers, you cannot go through there. What is that? A note. It seems he has been attempting to write a speech of some kind, unsuccessfully though. I wonder, does this fit a pattern of behavior with Hugo? You underestimate the power of man's defiance. Your men, you are in a position to bring all of this to an end. All we ask is what we deserve. If you do not retract your men, they will be met with equal force, too forceful. Your weapons may beat our bodies, but they will not bruise our hearts, spirits. These are the men that have built our great nation, country, and will continue to. Money will not save your soul. He's got a knife, too. Look at it. Here's a book. Inside Hugo's notebook, a hastily scribble regarding a meeting with who I assume Ernesto. Curious. So, Hugo's the union leader, and Ernesto owns the factory. So if they were scheduling a meeting, presumably it would be about the strike. All right, grandfather clock. Anything over here? Guess not. So, next guest room. The business-minded Monsieur de Silva's room. He is present, but I must begin my search. Oh, thank goodness. That means I don't have to talk to him first? Yay.
Aha.
Yeah, that one didn't play. Here's a fireplace.
Aha.
So I wonder if I really did have to talk to him first, because nothing's searchable otherwise. Okay, let's talk to him.
Monsieur de Silva, I am sure you understand the necessity for this type of search.
Not really, Detective. Your speech was rather spirited. But it did not give me much faith in your investigation.
I have not had my abilities questioned to my face by one of those I suspect of a crime before.
Well, if you wish to prove me wrong, you should hurry up and find Felix's killer.
And I hope, with your help, monsieur, I shall.
All right. So, Madame Vandenbosch spoke of your work with her late husband.
Yes, I helped him invest some money. Unfortunately, he was not the businessman he thought he was.
Madame Vandenbosch had a very similar view. At least he could have taken solace that you were both in the same position.
I think you're confused, Detective. It was Edwin that lost his fortune, not I.
Forgive my naivete. If you were helping him make viable investments, would you not have seen the same opportunity for yourself?
I told him about the opportunities. I did not tell him to put his whole family's wealth into it. The prospect of doing good meant more to him than his profit margins. He was bound to fail.
The business declared bankruptcy.
It did, until it was purchased for a fraction of its worth and made the new owner a small fortune.
I'm beginning to see Monsieur de Silva's more ruthless side. It sounds as though the Viscount was trying to at least make a positive change, but perhaps he was missing Monsieur de Silva's cutthroat edge. What we spoke of last night regarding Madame Vandenbosch.
Everything that I want to say on that matter has already been said.
I understand, monsieur. But what I would like to know is, was the late Viscount aware of your feelings towards his wife?
Excuse me, Detective, but you have crossed the line.
So, Cassandra was married to the Viscount, whose name was Edwin, I think. This guy wanted to date Cassandra, but she was secretly dating Felix, whom she had Angeline with, except Edwin thought Angeline was hers, or his. Boy, this is a really messed up story.
Cross the line like an attempt to bankrupt a business partner and friend so that you'll be able to swoop in and impress a certain target of your affections.
You make such ridiculous accusations without a shred of proof.
Your reaction at the mere suggestion is proof enough, monsieur. While I cannot arrest you for betrayal of a friend, I can hope your conscience does not forget, and that will be punishment enough.
Monsieur de Silva's actions are not a criminal offense, but if there was a penalty for deception and deceit, he would surely receive a life sentence. If he has gone to such lengths before, what would stop him from committing a similar act again, this time to the Major? I know you have worked with the Major, but what do you know of his finances?
He didn't have much to speak of. I was always surprised at the life he lived.
Surprised in what way?
Well, considering it wasn't that long ago he came to me asking about work, I didn't think he was in such good financial shape.
You offered him a position?
Nothing that he was willing to lower himself to. That's when he began talking about what else he could do for me.
The Major works security for your factories?
If you can call what him and his team did security. For the money I paid, I did not expect them to be so reckless.
It was a considerable amount you paid him?
There's no need to divulge amounts, but it was certainly more than was expected.
One would expect a business of Monsieur de Silva's caliber to have agreed a price for the Major's services. Why would he allow the Major to barter more? Tell me about the Major's security team.
He said they were all professionals, but I saw nothing of the sort. He said he had worked with them all in the army as their superior officer. They were men that could be trusted.
But that was not the case?
I had not even met them before they arrived on site. They brought their own equipment. They looked like they knew what they were doing.
And this equipment, it included the weapons that injured and killed the workers?
It was not much of a choice, Detective. I said they didn't need them, but Felix said it was essential. He said he knew better.
The more Monsieur talks, the shadier his dealings with the Major become. It's beginning to sound as though the riots were no accident.
That is all for now.
All right, let's snoop around again. Anything this time? Ah, letter opener. That could also be a stabby weapon. A razor-sharp letter opener, almost brand new, lies discarded on the floor. See, everybody has knives or something that's stabby in their room. A contract for a partnership between Ernesto and Hugo. It's missing Hugo's signature. Interesting. Partnership between Ernesto and Hugo. Wonder what that would be about. 12.1. This agreement is governed by the laws of the Kingdom of Belgium. Both parties agree to the following. Current workers' strike shall cease in all manners and forms. Factory floor machine operators and supervisors shall return to their positions immediately. Terms of the above contract shall be implemented and relevant action taken directly. Signed, M. Ernesto de Silva, factory owner and employer, Ernesto de Silva, and M. Hugo Becker's union leader. Terms of the contract shall be implemented. They have not told us what the contract. There's a letter? A letter stating the blackmailer would reveal information of his questionable business dealings. Ooh, a new conversation unlocked. Monsieur de Silva, at first you may question the nature of this letter, but by its conclusion you will know that what you fought so hard to keep hidden could be far from. You have spent years feeding off of the hard-working backs of others and offering nothing in return. Your workers continue to take their lives into their own hands day after day with your shoddy, damaged, and dangerous machines for a fraction of what they deserve. Deal after deal is made while your pockets become fatter, lining them with more of your blood money. It is your workers that must pay the price. The mistreatment and pain you have caused does not only reside in the factories that you own, but the house that you live in. You do not value the lives of those that allow you to live the opulent life that you do, and I will not allow that to continue. I can no longer sit back and watch as you disregard any sense of integrity and morality and continue to remain on your self-made pedestal, lording over those who deserve so much more. It is time you paid the price for your crimes, and the cost is 5,000 francs. It is a small price to pay for my silence, for if I do not receive it before Friday, it will not be cash you are paying, but rather years behind bars. Bring the money in a small brown paper parcel addressed to Monsieur Cordier. Cordier's the same one that wrote the notes to Felix. Addressed to Monsieur Cordier to the post office on... I'm not going to pretend to pronounce that. Give it to the cashier and leave. If you do as requested, you will not hear from me again, and you may continue your life of luxury. It is obvious you do not value others' lives, but I urge you to consider what yours is worth. Ooh. Let's talk to him again.
What is it now, detective?
Push on why Ernesto hid the letter.
I have spoken of a potential blackmail ring, and yet you still kept your letter to yourself.
We got a shield. We got to break through it.
It is none of your business, and it is nothing more than a cheap trick to have me.
It would be
Distance is a trait I do not enjoy.
Monsieur de Silva has remained blunt, if not curt, with his responses to my questions. Perhaps it would be best to act in a courteous and empathetic manner so that he may be more forthcoming with the truth of his blackmail letter and its contents. So, straightforward, there must be a reason you felt justified hiding it, or authoritative. You do not have to enjoy it, monsieur, but you must answer to it. All right, so they want us to be courteous and empathetic. So, we don't want to be authoritative then, probably. Let's go straightforward.
No reason, detective. Merely saving you from wasting your time.
I will be the judge of that. I would like to know about any and all evidence that may help my investigation.
Okay, I'm just going to hang tight here just a second. It does look we are dropping frames. Okay. It looks like it may now be resolved. Okay. All right. Yeah, it does look like that we are back. All right, so... All right, so for those of you that may or may not have been... Oh, Steph, you said that... Okay, I'm showing that I'm not dropping any more frames, so... We did drop a couple frames, not a ton. All right, I think we're back. So basically what happened, if you were kind of buffering, is that we pushed Ernesto a little bit. Well, we were straightforward. We were not authoritative, and he's now answering some questions. To be honest, you got caught off guard when I started dropping frames. I'm actually not even sure what exactly we asked him about. So let's keep going. I'm sure we'll figure it out. All right, I will be the judge of that. I would like to know about any and all evidence that may help my investigation.
I trust there is nothing else you deem a waste of my time.
Of course not, officer. It's not as though you think I'm harboring some illicit secret. The letter was a pathetic attempt to intimidate me. Nothing more.
Okay, I think that was what the whole thing was about, is that we kind of asked him, you know, why he would be hiding the letter, and he just said he wasn't interested in wasting our time. So he thinks that this is just an attempt to intimidate him. He doesn't really hold he doesn't think it really holds a candle, that there's nothing really behind it. So, all right, we're still trying to break the shield. So let's see, we have condemning and concerned. So probably, since we said we were trying to be empathetic, we will not use condemning, but it says, deal after deal is made while your pockets become fatter, lining them with more of your blood money. Or concerned, you do not value the lives of those that allow you to live the opulent life that you do. So we're going to go concerned and see if it breaks the shield.
I have never heard so much rubbish in all my life. I value those that work hard and deserve it.
That suggests there are some that you do not respect.
Yes, well, why should I praise someone for doing a poor job? You make me sound like some monster.
Monsieur, The letter does not only discuss your questionable business dealings, but also cases of abuse against your staff. Both accusations that must be taken very seriously.
Detective, there is a difference between telling a member of my staff what to do and abuse.
And it is you that decides where that line is drawn?
In my house? Yes, it is.
Hey, we broke through the shield. Monsieur does not like being pressed on the subject of how he treats his staff. Hey, achievement for Ernesto de Silva. It's shiny. I don't know if you saw that, geeks and nerds. It is shiny. If he had nothing to hide, there should be no need for such a reaction. Were you expecting some correspondence this weekend?
Excuse me? Detective, I think you are beginning to lose your mind.
I do not think it is unreasonable to question why you would feel the need to bring a letter opener with you.
Really, Detective? If I had stabbed a man with it, do you really think I would have left it lying out in my room?
Monsieur de Silva is correct. It was a stretch to believe someone would be so careless. The murder weapon remained somewhere in the house, though. Well, so far, I think one of the only houses that are the only rooms that we have not seen some form of stabby item was Margot's. So if he's assuming that someone would not be so careless, I guess we're going back to Margot at some point. Shiny. All right, Monsieur Demire invited Monsieur Beckers so that you two might sit down and find some common ground.
Yes, and no one asked them to.
But surely it is beneficial to both parties. Your profits must have been affected.
Don't you like shiny things, Steph?
There are barely any profits to speak of.
Why have those talks not taken place and a deal arranged?
Monsieur Beckers has made no attempt to speak with me and offered no counter-offer. The ball is in his court, Detective.
Although it is Monsieur de Silva's wages and treatment of his staff that is in question, it sounds as though he's at least trying to resolve the issue. Surprising, unlike Monsieur Beckers. All right, do you have any ideas as to which staff member may have expressed their abuse?
Please stop calling it that. I treat all my servants exactly how I always have, and no one has complained before.
That does not mean your behavior is appropriate.
They have one chance. If they are not doing the job they are hired to do, they are gone. You would be surprised how many staff expect an easy ride.
I did not expect Monsieur to treat his staff the same as his friends, but I also did not expect him to treat them like stray dogs.
Is there a specific member of staff that may have expected such a ride?
There is one girl, a new maid. I didn't expect great things from her, but Comtesse de Vos promised me she could do what was required.
Don't tell me her name's Florette. I will fall off my chair. This must be the young girl that the Comtesse spoke of. Perhaps the positions she is finding for these girls are not the best fit.
That is all for now.
Okay, we've got 2 links in that mind map. 1 in that one. Hey, we finally got one in the blackmail. Yay. Okay, let's look at the blackmail. Oh, dear Lord. Okay. So, let's see. Jackie somewhat knows the family. Jackie knows a lot about the guests. Staff knows the family's hiding something. House staff may know the blackmail reason. The major is possibly involved in the blackmail. Okay, we've determined that that's not true, so I doubt that's probably going to link up, right? Wow, this is... Just kind of looking through all of these options. So here's Ernesto employed a servant from the women's shelter. That's new. So the only one I'm immediately seeing that I think probably... Let me zoom out. I'm not missing any... Okay, let's zoom in. The major confessed his love for Cassandra. He knows the family's secret, so... Those two, maybe?
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover the truth.
Okay, so not so much. Because I don't think we're probably going to be linking up something where the Major was possibly involved in the blackmail. Yeah, up on top it says blackmail letter. Up here, are you thinking that links to something? I mean, there's two different blackmail letters, so there's... And I'm not even sure, Okay, yeah, this is Ernesto's one. I was going to say there was 2 blackmail letters to the Vandenbosch family. Oh, those are these 2. What's this one, then? Boy, there's a lot of blackmail going on. So, these don't link up, do they? These random time things, right?
Is there something
I didn't think so, but... So, this is all about the family blackmail. And then this is linked to Ernesto's blackmail. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know why we would be linking Ernesto's blackmail letters. Like, why would Ernesto mistreating his employees be linked to blackmail? The blackmailer wishes for the Vandenbosch family to leave the manor, but...
I must act on thought and...
Just trying to figure out what might possibly be linking here. Oh, they want... I've mentioned this before. I'm not quite sure sometimes why... See, these are technically already linked through this means. So I'm not sure why we're directly linking them. So apparently we're linking Inga got for the job from Margot to Ernesto employed a servant from the women's shelter.
What a revelation!
Margot is making her shelter girls do her dirty work, finding dirt on members of the social elite. How did he make that deduction? Did they go back and tell Margot? I don't know how he came to that conclusion, because Inga seems to be fairly happily employed in this location. Okay, well, that finishes the links in that mind map. Let's go to this one. Whoa. Okay, so this is kind of like before. We've got the 6 people. So we've got Gideon, Zechariah, Margot, Ernesto, Hugo, and Jackie. And then in the middle, we've got Archibald. All right. All right, so Margot... Wait, we have to talk to Ernesto again? Presumably these would link. So Margot helped Ernesto find a maid. Links to Ernesto employed a servant from the women's shelter.
This will not get me any closer to my goal.
Oh, you're right. She did say that. She said that she visits the girls often to make sure that they're happily employed. So, Archibald allowed Margot to check the body. Could potentially link to the fact that she came prepared?
I cannot see the logic in this. Perhaps a second look at the evidence in front of me.
Steph, I did just try to link Margot to Ernesto. I'm not sure if it's just because the stream is always a little bit behind, or if you're thinking maybe a different... You know what? maybe this way. Ernesto employed a servant from the women's shelter to Margot works at a women's shelter.
Order and method. That is the
No.
way.
Oh, well, we got flashing now. We got 2 links, so... Let me see where they are. Okay. So what's blinking is that Jackie thinks Hugo was slow to react. And he's got that scrap of paper that he was trying to write a speech on. Maybe he was trying to... I was kind of wondering about that. He seemed to be preparing a speech. And some of it seemed to be towards the management. And some of it almost seemed like it was towards the workers. So... Maybe he was making some sort of agreement for his own personal gain with Ernesto, and he's trying to get everybody to stand down with this riot.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
In Jackie's opinion, she doesn't value Hugo particularly highly. Would he collaborate with anyone else, I wonder? Jackie's unlikely to collaborate with Hugo. Time to get out the cheat sheet. It kind of gets itself out automatically if you try to link the wrong ones too many times. All right, and then the other 2 that were flashing were the photo of Zachariah and Gideon, and that the fact that they're hesitant to reconcile.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
The Demir brothers' estranged relationship is enough to suggest they would not have worked together. Okay, so there's one additional mine link now that popped up when we linked these 2. So probably something to do with Jackie being unlikely to collaborate with Hugo. What do you suppose that would go to? His notebook. What did that say? Oh. She was unlikely to collaborate with him, but we did know that, yes, that Ernesto was doing something. So maybe those 2?
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Haha. There's to you and your cheat sheet, geeks and nerds. Hugo and Ernesto confirmed each other's alibis. It's possible they may have colluded to murder the Major. Can I find anything to support this? Oh, another mine link. Hugo may collude with Ernesto. Where did my... Oh, there it is. It was gone for a minute, the little dot in the middle. All right, Hugo may collude with Ernesto. They do have a partially signed contract.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
I am doubtful this duo would collaborate. Would Ernesto deal with another member of the house, perhaps someone who never confirmed his alibi? So, probably the fact that I'm assuming this is in some way related to either like Margot or the women's shelter, so...
Magnifique.
Hey, instinct is marvelous. Achievement. Ernesto doesn't strike me as the sort of man that would ask for help no matter how important. Alright, talk to Ernesto. Got all the mine links. Alright, Ernesto? What is up?
What is it now, detective?
Did you speak with the Countess directly about hiring a servant from the shelter?
She approached me. I thought it was rather brash.
Okay, well that is mysterious. I would not have guessed that.
In what way?
Assuming that I would want to take on another servant, and one from such a troubled background. She is running the charity, not I.
Monsieur, there is something you are keeping from me. Your business relationship with the Major was obviously towing the line of legality.
When he came to me, I told him that with the factories on strike and my profits pouring down the drain, I had nothing for him. But he said he could help me get them all back to work and the factories earning. His rates were steep, but he said he knew what needed to be done, and he was prepared to do it. A week passed and they were all still on strike. In fact, even more had joined them. He made excuse after excuse, demanding more and more money for the job to be done. But he never actually told me what he was going to do.
Isn't that a question you should have asked, rather than just, assuming that he was going to get it done if he was asking for steep prices? Otherwise, you don't hire him,
The riots.
I had no idea they were going to charge them like that. How was I meant to know?
And even following such a tragedy, he continued to demand money from you.
He said if he wanted my silence, it would cost. Do you have any idea what it could do to my livelihood, my name? If it got out that I had paid the so-called security that did that.
I'm smelling motive.
I have every idea, monsieur. You hired a militia to take action against your own workers. You deserve whatever name is chosen for being so morally bereft in your decision-making.
I didn't know that was what he was going to do.
I have to believe nothing but the truth. And the truth, monsieur, is that it is not only the Major that has the blood of those men on his hands. That is all for now.
Mind map? Aha! Okay, so Margot approached Ernesto to offer help. Would that link to this?
Come, my little grey cells.
Interestingly, these two are side by side. Archibald allowed Margot to check the body, and Margot approached Ernesto to offer help. I don't know if it's right. Let's try it.
Another success.
Aha!
I never doubted myself.
Margot may know more than she's letting on if she has an inside link with the staff of the house. I have found no clear evidence of the guests working together in any capacity. What has become clear is the Countess's connection to the staff. Could there be something more to their relationship? We need to talk to Inga. Ooh, objective complete. Yay. Yep, no other links. All right, Inga.
Is there something you need, Detective?
Tell me about your true relationship with the Countess.
She helped me at the shelter, and with this job.
That I am already aware of. What I am not is what else she tasked you with.
Pardon, Detective?
I know that your position as a servant in this house is not your only job. What did Countess de Vos ask you to do while in this house?
She said I had to do what she asked, or I would be back on the street. I didn't want to do it. If anyone found out, I would be the prime suspect.
Madame Vandenbosch would have been aware of young Inga's past, and she is worried that they would accuse her. What was asked of her must be related to her past life as a thief. Madame Vandenbosch. Why Madame Vandenbosch? I was thinking we're talking about the Countess, not Cassandra. Okay, well, let's try to follow this
Merci,
logic.
mademoiselle.
All right, let's... uncover Inga's involvement in recent affairs. Oh, it's about the safe, isn't it? So, either maybe these two,
I must take a different approach.
or maybe this one. She was prosecuted, so...
Order and method.
No?
That is the way to solve the problem.
So she was the thief. I was assuming she was the one that broke into the safe. So that has to be it. This is literally it. I'm zoomed out as far as possible in the mind map. All we have is our Margot, Inga, and Archibald connected to the safe. Oh, she stole the key.
Come, my little grey cells.
Just
We
kidding.
must think logically.
Don't lie to me, game. Don't lie to me. Oh. Again, okay, whatever. Inga's following Margot's orders, and Inga was previously prosecuted.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Inga has admitted that her work in the house is not wholly honest. We have a new conversation option. Oh, and another mind link as well. Inga's assisting with thefts. Now maybe to the key.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
Aha! Got it. I thought it was irresponsible of Archibald to lose his key, but now its disappearance makes sense. Okay, we've got all of the links. So let's go talk to Inga again. Inga? Explain yourself.
Detective.
Explain yourself. What was it that the Countess asked you to steal from the house? Yeah, see, they said Countess again, not Madame Vandenbosch. Alright, what did she ask you to steal?
Nothing. She said I was to take nothing.
If it was not something she wished you to take, what was it?
She wanted me to find out information about the family and Monsieur Hagen.
Why did she request that?
At first I didn't know, but when I heard about Mademoiselle Angeline being blackmailed, and then the Major, I knew she had used what I found.
Oh, Margot's a blackmailer! Perhaps my suspicions of Monsieur Sterling's involvement with the Major's safe were incorrect, and his key was not lost, but stolen. Tell me how you access this safe.
I knew Monsieur Archie had a key, and it would be easy to get it from him.
You knew that the Major asked Monsieur Sterling to access the safe from time to time, and if anything was ever discovered missing, he would surely take the blame.
I never took anything. I only told the Countess what I had found.
And that was?
About Monsieur Hagen and the Madame's relationship, and Angeline.
I'm sure the Countess was pleased to hear such valuable information.
She said I had done a good job, but I needed proof. That's why I went back and got the letters last night.
So it was young Inga that beat Madame Vandenbosch to the safe last night. But why would they be left in such a precarious fashion? I think they mean the papers, all the papers that were scattered all over the floor. When I returned to the study this morning, the letters remained out and the safe open.
I fetched the letters again and took them to the Countess last night. But she shouted at me and said what a stupid girl I was.
You were only doing as she requested.
She said it was too dangerous for her to have them with you around. That's when I returned them to the study. I thought I heard someone on the stairs, so I just threw them back. It was dark as I dared not turn the light on. Someone would have seen it.
Trying to slot a key into a lock in the dark is no easy feat. That would explain the scratches on the safe. An achievement for Inga Frank. If Madame Vandenbosch had only tried to retrieve the letter minutes earlier, she would have surely crossed paths with Inga.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Mind map. Ah. Okay. Inga knows of the hidden room, and she acts this is safe. I'm assuming that's what they mean when they say hidden room. They're talking about the study. Well, actually, what it says over on the left is, this room I keep hearing about is certainly well hidden and at the same time well revered. Oh, well, let's try it.
This will not get me any close.
I was going to say, I don't know that the study is a hidden room. Inga scratched the safe. Because she accessed it.
Is there something I am...
I mean, you could try to link these up. Inga accessed the safe, and the safe was accessed. Oh, you know what? Probably Inga stole Archibald's key, and then she accessed the safe, right?
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
I wonder how many secrets the house holds for Inga to find. Yeah, the hidden room? I don't understand what that is either. I don't remember talking about a hidden room, so... Alright, Inga is trying to uncover secrets, and she knows of a hidden room. Whatever the hidden room is.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Wonder if that was that one room that when I was looking around for the different guest quarters, it said something about a storeroom, maybe? Alright. If there is somewhere in this house where a secret lies, it will surely be found in the hidden room. Alright, talk to Inga again. My suspicions of the Countess's connection with Inga was correct. She was using the young girl to find out anything and everything she could about the family, while the Countess need not even get her hands dirty. The only thing I can think is that Inga said she went to find secrets somewhere, but I assumed that she probably went... She said she got proof from somewhere, so maybe that has something to do with it. Let's talk to her. We'll figure it out here momentarily, I'm sure.
Is there something you need, Detective?
What else have you relayed to the Countess?
That's all. I swear. I heard Monsieur Archie and Monsieur Felix talking about a storeroom.
Nah!
I haven't found it.
I know where the storeroom is.
Is the Countess aware of this room?
I told her it was somewhere in the house, but I didn't know where. She wasn't happy with me that I hadn't found it yet.
I'm surprised she hasn't found it since it's right here off the hallway and I've found it. I believe if young Inga knew the location of the secret store, she would have been forthcoming with it. It may be naive on my part, but she has already incriminated herself and has nothing else to lose.
Merci, mademoiselle. Your honesty today has helped me greatly.
I suppose that I will lose my position at the house now.
That is not my decision to make. But when the whole truth is revealed, it will not be the pawns the law looks to convict. We shall be coming for the Queen.
Okay. Mind map. We got a link in the investigate the blackmail. All right, let's go into there. Oh dear Lord, that's this one. Okay. What is this? Oh. I'm not going to pretend I can pronounce that, but it's apparently the Vandenbosch family residence. So Inga accessed the safe. And of course, Margot has links to several staff members. The Vandenbosch secrets may be in the hidden room. So, yes, there's a lot of links in this one. The staff of the family's hiding something.
I cannot see the logic in this. Perhaps a...
Okay. Maybe let's try these two.
Another success.
Hey, there we go.
I never doubted myself.
Such a calculating web of lies and secrets. What motive could possibly justify such devious actions? Finally, I've unmasked the blackmailer. Mademoiselle Angeline and the other recipients of such letters may no longer live in fear. Comtesse de Vos shall pay for her crimes. The one that... Ooh, yay! So the one that I linked up is Vandenbosch secrets may be in the hidden room. And Margot has links to several staff members. So, Margot is the blackmailer. Wow. Where is Emily? Who's Emily? Are you talking about Elizabeth? I don't know if anybody else that has an E. Well, Ernesto does. Wasn't she part of the Servits? Servits were Inga, Rehana, Elizabeth, and Archibald. Okay. So we've solved what we came here for, which was the blackmail. But we still haven't solved the murder that occurred after we got here. Are we getting a cutscene? Oh, no. We've just been teleported to Angeline's bedroom. Curious.
Mademoiselle, merci for coming.
Have you had a breakthrough, Detective?
I have. Finally, I have the news you have awaited.
Please, Detective, don't hold me in suspense.
I have finally uncovered the identity of the one holding the Vandenbosch name to ransom.
Oh my, I feel faint at the thought of knowing who could have done this to us.
It is said to keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. It is Countess de Vos that is behind the letters.
I don't believe it. What about the Major's letter?
Not only his, but a letter to Monsieur da Silva.
She was blackmailing him as well? Detective, I just don't know what to say.
Take a moment, mademoiselle. It is a lot of information to take in.
I just don't understand why she would do such a cruel thing.
What do you know of young Inga's past?
She has never been particularly forthcoming with it, only that she was homeless for some time and that she was at the women's shelter before here.
And it is there that the Countess abused her power and manipulated her to uncover secrets of the family.
All this time she has been working for Margot, doing her dirty work?
I am afraid so, mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle is in a state of shock to learn that such a close friend of the family has betrayed them in such a cruel way. It must be devastating.
Is Maman aware?
You are the first I have told, mademoiselle. Next will be the authorities.
I'm afraid that we'll have to wait.
We must go through the correct channels. I don't speak French. We must go through the correct channels.
And we will. I want to see her punished to the fullest extent of the law. But we cannot telephone anyone, as the lines are still down.
Monsieur Archibald informed me earlier I had hoped they would be working again. Last night's snow must have caused more damage than expected.
Last night? They have been done all weekend, Detective.
Explain yourself, Archibald!
Detective? Are you okay?
How could I have been such a fool? I saw Monsieur Sterling talk on the phone, but I heard no ring.
Detective Poirot?
It was all a lie, a scene acted out for my benefit to throw me off the scent. If I believed that the Major was still alive at the time, I had no reason to investigate anyone's whereabouts beforehand. Anyone being Monsieur Sterling and his staff. Dun dun dun.
Would you like me to fetch you a glass of water, Detective?
My apologies, mademoiselle. I was taken by surprise for a moment, but I have regained my composure. A glass of water is not required. Would you excuse me?
Achievement! Achievement of the search.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Oh, you were talking about Elizabeth. Yeah, her name is not Emily. Chapter 7! The Family. Oh, okay. My patience has grown thin. The guests and the staff of this house think it is acceptable to lie to my face when questioned and obstruct my investigation. But no more. We shall now see Monsieur Sterling and his staff fare under some pressure. Oh, how they fare. Where are you? Oh, I'm trying to walk and they're giving me a mind map instead. I have been lied to for the last time. My suspicions initially led me to the guests, but now they are firmly placed on the staff. Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rihanna cannot hide behind their lies any longer. Ooh, that's a very bare mind map. Let's go fill it in. Explain yourself. I would run, but I can't run. This is as fast as I go. Oh. I was in my bedroom. We were already there. I think that's the way out. Okay, yeah, there's nothing really else here. It looks like Elizabeth is on her way to see me, but at such a late hour. Hey, here's Emily, just to let you know.
Mademoiselle, what a pleasure to see you.
Detective,
It is a rather late hour to be wandering the halls.
Oh, yes. Of course. I do not feel myself, Detective.
If that is the case, you should be resting. Allow me to help.
No, that's quite all right. I will see to my duties and return to bed.
Lizzie, excuse me, Elizabeth. Lady Vandenbosch has been waiting for some time now.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Detective Poirot was just...
I'll see to the detective. You just head on up. Off you go.
Good night, Detective.
Bonne nuit, mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle Elizabeth is certainly not herself. I thought the death of the Major had brought up uncomfortable memories of her beloved Luke, but it may be something else.
I'm sorry about her, Detective. As you can see, she is still not back to her usual bubbly self.
This weekend seems to have taken quite a toll on her.
She'll be right as rain in a couple of days. Now, what can I help you with?
Archie, you got some splaining to do.
As if by magic you appeared when needed. I would like to speak with you and the remaining staff. If you could gather them in the staff pantry.
At this hour, Detective? Is that really necessary?
Stop lying to me and then it won't be.
I shall be the one that determines what is and what is not necessary, and this is very much the former.
As you wish, Detective. I'll see if Inge has finished preparing for breakfast.
And Mademoiselle Rihanna?
Yes, of course. I'll fetch her from the kitchen. Elizabeth may be some time with the lady of the house. Perhaps you'd like to start with us?
Very well. I shall speak with Mademoiselle Elizabeth when her duties are complete.
While I am gathering the staff, Mr. Beckers is in the library. If you wish to join him, I could bring you both a nightcap.
I wish to keep a clear head, but there is something I wish to discuss with Monsieur Beckers.
This is my opportunity to confront Monsieur Beckers about his dealings or lack thereof with Monsieur de Silva without being disturbed. And it was a wise decision to turn down the nightcap. I'm sure he just wants to poison us. Because if he poisons us, we don't find out that all the staff have murdered Felix. Where are we going? Did they say the library? The library's on this floor. Ah, here he is. Standing by the fireplace. Hey, look, we can look at this one.
Ah.
Hugo.
Monsieur Beckers, it is rather late. The other guests have already retired to their rooms.
I didn't even see the time. It's easy to lose oneself in a library this impressive.
That is something we can agree on, monsieur.
I suppose I should be heading?
Un moment, monsieur. There are some matters that we must discuss.
Oh, what is it, Detective?
I did not realize your relationship with Mademoiselle Conrad was so business-oriented.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Her proposal to make you somewhat of a star, a figurehead for the working man. What would you call that?
There was certainly no talk of making me a star. That is not the type of man I am. She wanted to write a piece on my work with the union, and I was happy to oblige.
Monsieur Beckers has always appeared to have the worker intentions at the forefront of his decisions, but perhaps the thought of being remembered for something great was too much for him to pass up. I was wondering, did your speech go the way you expected?
My speech? I'm not sure what speech.
You may save your false ramblings for your next audience. I am aware you spoke with the Major yesterday.
Whoever told you that has it wrong, Detective.
Please, monsieur. The truth.
Okay, fine. Yes, the Major and I spoke, but it was not for long.
What was the manner of your conversation? From what I understand, it was not a light-hearted chat.
I was trying to convince him to speak with Ernesto. It's time we brought the strikes to an end.
And that was best approached by a shouting match?
He wouldn't listen to a word I said. I spent so long preparing how I was going to convince him, But men like him are only swayed by one thing: money.
Monsieur Beckers is not wrong. Had he tried to grease the Major's palm, perhaps he would have been more successful.
It is said that money is the root of all evil, but it can also be a rather powerful bargaining chip.
Ah, that's biblical.
Well, he was bargaining with people's lives. If he had acted sooner, none of those men, my men, would have to die.
Actually, come to think of it, that was actually misquoted. Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. If you're going to look that up and be technical about it. All right. If he'd acted sooner, none of those men, my men, would have had to die. Got it. The Major oversaw security at the factories. Could he have done more to stop the strikes turning violent? I understand Monsieur de Silva had prepared a deal.
A deal? It was an insult.
Well, that would explain why he didn't sign it, the letter.
And that is why you did not sign it?
I didn't sign it because the workers deserve so much more, not his pathetic attempts to get them back to work.
Did you think there was a chance for a better deal to be made?
I know there was. He's a pompous swine that cares for only himself and filling his pockets.
I'm sure I've heard that description of Monsieur de Silva before, or at least something similar. Push on Jacqueline's influence over Hugo.
Mademoiselle Conrad can be quite convincing, can she not?
She has certainly taken several wealthy business partners by surprise with her knowledge and prowess. She knows how to use her womanly powers to get what she wants.
Whoa, her womanly powers.
But she did not surprise or use you.
Me? Use me? Don't be ridiculous, detective. There were no games played at my expense.
Monsieur Beckers has quite a way with words and is a fan of his own voice. Perhaps I should allow him the opportunity to speak and open up without too much interruption and forcefulness. Curious and suggestive. Even though she was able to convince you not to sign a deal, I am sure many have been persuaded by her feminine prowess. So if we're going to encourage him to speak up, we want to probably be curious.
No, she
that
just
was
reminded
good.
me of what I was fighting for.
Antagonistic, you were used, or direct. You claim that you refused Monsieur de Silva's deal as it was not adequate for your men. So we don't want to be antagonizing, but this is curiously asking a question.
And I stand by that. It was an insult.
A rather bold move to make such a decision on your own.
Okay, now we've got accusing or honest. Are you prepared to take responsibility for your actions or lack thereof? Honest. Your job is to support the workers, but nothing you have done has gotten them any closer to the results you promised. Well, again, let's give him a chance to talk.
I may not be perfect, but I've done everything I can.
Your efforts fell short in every respect. You claim to be the voice of the people, but you care about no one's voice or benefits but your own.
It's not as easy as just signing a piece of paper, detective. It is a heavy weight to bear on one's shoulders. I consulted with others.
You yourself spoke of Mademoiselle Conrad's cunning in business.
And I told you, I was not one of her targets.
Tell me then, what was it she reminded you of? The acclaimed man of the people you would be known as if you pushed the factory owners for more?
It wasn't like that at all.
From where I am standing, it was she that was manipulating the terms of the deal, and you in the process. You were merely her pawn.
Okay, yes, I know. I shouldn't have listened to her. But what else could I do? Remain an unknown my whole life? I didn't mean for anyone to get hurt.
So he wanted to be known for something.
It may not have been your intention, but we both know the result. You rolled the dice with those men's lives for fame, and you lost.
We got an achievement for Hugo Beckers. Pardon my intrusion, but you are from a large family.
What does that have to do with anything?
I have often wondered about the competition siblings face in a large family.
When you're young, it is the best feeling to know you have family that will stand by you, without even being asked. It is not until everyone starts carving their own path that you realize you're walking yours solo, and those that were beside you are now miles away. My older brothers were the athletes of the family. They both played soccer. and were the infatuation of every teenage girl. I'm sure you have seen the type.
It's funny they use the word soccer. That's an American word, I think. So I would have expected them to say football. So in other words, he's kind of building up to like all of his siblings are well known. So his older brothers were they were the teenage crushes for all the girls and stuff. So.
Oui, monsieur. But I can assure you that was not I.
Then there was me. Quiet, timid, a shadow of the Becker brothers. My voice and very presence was forgotten and ignored. Nothing I could say or do would ever reach the bar they had set. But I always knew I was destined for great things. Years passed, and now that I no longer stood in the colossal ombre of my brothers, I could become my own man. When the position of union leader was posted, it was my chance to finally be heard. You hear politicians speak of the little or the common man? Well, that was me. And I knew what we wanted and what we needed. When I spoke, others listened. I held their gaze with a sense of pride, a sense that what I was doing was for the greater good. It was supposed to be my crowning achievement, lead the men to victory over the money-grabbing oppressors. But instead, all I did was lead them to their deaths.
Soccer is our football? No, normally if they're talking about American football, they say American football. Otherwise, they say football and they indicate soccer. Anyway.
Monsieur, it was not at your hands that these men died. The blame cannot lie solely on your shoulders. Those responsible will be punished for their crimes. That you must trust.
Actually, I think this is first of all, I think it's in Belgium, not in England, but the detective is French. So I'm a little confused because then, of course, Jacqueline Conrad's an American in this, and there's some British people as well. So I'm really not kind of sure about the mishmash of people they've got. But as far as I'm aware, it looks like the storyline is Belgium. Monsieur Becker's story is one of fighting to have one's voice heard, be it a single one or of the masses. I'm afraid that he may be remembered for what he did, but not in the way he had hoped. Okay. Mind map. Oh, that's right. We got to go to the pantry. So there's no other links. So I think while speaking with Monsieur Beckers was not the reason for me being up at this hour. He was able to fill in some of the blanks regarding the Major, but not in getting any closer to discovering his killer. Perhaps the staff living quarters will. The staff living quarters? I thought we were going to the pantry to talk to them. I don't even know where the staff... So that's Jackie's bedroom. Let's go downstairs and see if we can go in the pantry, because that's where I expected I was going. Well, actually, you know what? Where the staff quarters... No, this is the storeroom, isn't it? South... Oh! Was I always able to go here? Is this my bedroom? Maybe this was where I came out of. Okay. So it was the door that goes to the back. This door. Can't go there. I just realized my little pocket thingy, pocket square, is pink. Doesn't really go with my red tie and red socks and shoes. Okay, let's go visit the staff in the pantry. Okay. Let's figure out where else we need to go then. Is this the staff quarters? Haha. It's been so long I didn't remember. Well, this is depressing. They sleep in crappy bunk beds in what looks like a dungeon. A decent supply of logs. I just hope the staff also get to make use of them with this weather. I'm not sure where they would. This looks like the fireplace, and it is kind of not in use. Newspaper.
Oh.
They are a few days old and do not hold a candle as to what has transpired here this weekend. What are these papers on the floor? Can't do anything with those. What are you? A hammock. I'm glad a guest of the house... Or I'm glad I'm a guest of a house. I'm not sure how well I would sleep in such a contraption. Cupboard. There does not seem to be anything of interest in here. Luggage.
Oh.
A war medal that I assume must belong to the Major. Why would that be in the staff's quarters? You're saying I need to start a fire? I was just about to ask a minute ago if, Geeks and Nerds, if you had fallen asleep. Abandoned clothes. A rather luxurious jacket. The initials read FH. Felix Hagen. Are these scruffy boots his as well? Why would they be left here, though? The items I have found are most intriguing and require an explanation that I believe only the staff can give. I shall meet them in the pantry. Oh.
Detective.
Teleporting.
What can we do for you?
You can help me by telling the truth, and in the process, help yourselves.
Sorry, Detective. It's a bit late in the night for riddles.
It is no riddle, monsieur. If I do not receive the truth, you shall all be charged as accessories to murder.
Detective, I think maybe you have been locked in this house for too long. We have already...
You have told me a version, and now I require honesty.
Okay. I guess we're going to talk to each of them in turn. All right, let's start with Archibald.
Monsieur Sterling, is there anything you would like to add to your story?
Geeks and Nerds is asleep. He just sent a message, so I don't think he's asleep. I guess you'd probably know better than I. All right, anything else you want to add to your story?
I'm not sure what you think I have done, Detective.
Let us not string out this charade any longer.
The telephone call the Major received.
From his associate. I've already told you, Detective. I don't know who it was.
Do not worry yourself on such details now. I suppose they were lucky to have called when they did. Otherwise, they may not have gotten through at all, with the telephone lines being down as of yesterday.
Aye, Detective. Lucky, I guess.
Monsieur Sterling is no fool. I believe he is aware I suspect him of something. Perhaps some carefully worded questions are all that are needed for him to slip up. So do I need to be careful which ones I ask? You were the last to see the Major alive when you brought him the bottle of whiskey in his study, correct? Or can you explain why a medal belonging to the Major was amongst your belongings? Let's ask him that one. That one's a good one.
Oh, you found it. Thank you, Detective. I've
You
been looking
jerk.
everywhere for it.
Oh, what a jerk.
If I had lost a war medal, I would not stop until I found it.
It's not what you think. I was...
Exploiting a dead man's military achievements for your own personal gain?
Nothing of the sort. He asked me to clean them up. I must have dropped it into my pocket when I was putting them back. An honest mistake.
Isn't that, what shoplifters say? It just fell into my pocket. Never have I heard such a pathetic excuse to explain a stolen item in one's possession. I would expect a better lie from an infant. You were the last to see... I guess let's ask him the first one since it's still there. This is still about the medal, but let's... you were the last one to see him alive when you brought him a bottle of whiskey?
Whiskey?
You took a bottle of whiskey to the Major. You spoke with Monsieur Demire en route?
Aye, of course. It was a bottle he picked up from his last visit to Scotland. Rather smoky number from the Highlands. He was saving it for a worthy occasion. Drowning his sorrows must have been fitting enough.
Did it sound like he was really confused when I said it was whiskey and now he's got this really vivid description of what whiskey he brought him? Oh, You know, if I wasn't streaming this, you guys probably would think that I just just worked the YouTube video in such a way that it makes myself look really good. At first, he does not remember a bottle at all, and as if by magic, he recalls the exact details.
Or was it the one from the West Coast? You'll have to excuse my memory, Detective. It's not what it used to be.
I cannot claim to be an expert, but I would presume a medal like that would be of quite some value.
I wouldn't know. Probably.
Your father was in the military for many years. That is what you told me.
He was.
And your family still keep his medals?
They were sold.
And why was that, monsieur?
Is my family on trial now, Detective?
Only you, monsieur. And I repeat my question.
Because we needed money.
Voila.
Monsieur Sterling was well aware of the medal's value when it found its way into his belongings. You claim the Major asked you to clean his medals for display purposes?
No. He keeps them safe with some of his old military documentation.
Is that a typical job for the head butler?
He trusts me to do a good job. I told him I used to clean my father's, so he asked me to do the same.
And where does he keep these items?
In the storage room. I know where everything is, so it's just easier if I fetch them for him as and when he needs them.
The storage room? That's that hidden secret room. I do not recall seeing anything or any military memorabilia or keepsakes when I was in the storage room. Oh. Were we in a storage room? Could there be another storage room? Oh, for God's sakes. Just keep reading, Hawk. Are you happy here at the Vandenbosch house?
It's certainly better than my last.
You are paid a fitting wage for the work that is asked of you?
I'm sure the lady of the house would not want me discussing it, but I should not complain.
That is not the most convincing answer, monsieur.
Between you and I, we all work very hard here, and it would be nice if we were rewarded for it.
It seems Monsieur Sterling is trying to convince me, as he has himself, that his light-fingered actions are justifiable due to the petite wage he receives for his honest work.
Please don't go anywhere. If I require more information, I shall call on you again.
All right, Elizabeth. Oh, you're not. That's right, Elizabeth. You're Inga. Elizabeth is with the Madame Vandenbosch.
Mademoiselle, I shall keep my questions brief.
I don't know what else I can tell you.
You have been honest with me so far. All I request is that you continue to do so.
Oui, detective.
I am already aware of Mademoiselle's involvement with the blackmail, but I am not sure if she is also connected to the Major's murder. Tell me what happened before you found the Major in his study.
It was frantic in the pantry. We were working hard to make sure everything was up to scratch.
Go on.
Then Liz burst in, asking for Maman's help.
Her help with what, exactly?
I don't know. She took Liz to one side, and I was needed in the salon. We spoke just after that in the pantry.
You did not question what she needed help with?
The secret room they mentioned is the storeroom, and that's, I think we'd found it's on the second floor. It's not accessible yet. You did not question what she needed help with?
I was too busy. I love Liz, but she sheds a tear at almost everything these days. Although, I have never seen her look so pale.
Mademoiselle Elizabeth still looked pale when I saw her earlier. I understand the amount of work that goes into keeping a house of this size running, but Madame cannot expect the staff to work if they are ill. Perhaps Mademoiselle Rehanna can clear up the reason for Elizabeth's panic. Let's go find out.
Merci. I shall return if I have any further questions. Mademoiselle, I shall be as quick and precise with my questioning as possible.
Okay. What do you need?
My condolences on your brother's passing.
Merci. He was a good man. Taken too early.
Forgive me, mademoiselle, for not extending them earlier, but I was not aware of your relationship.
He was my only brother. And he died doing what he believed was right. If I ever get my hands on who took him from me.
I understand why she is so angry for her brother to be taken from this world at such a young age and in such a violent manner. Violence cannot be met with violence, but I am not sure Mademoiselle feels the same. Tell me about your brother's involvement in the riots at the factory.
You say the riots, but it was the strike he was part of. They started the riots, not the workers.
By they, you are referring to the security forces. They were brought in to keep the peace.
Security, huh? They were brought in to make an example of them. It was all peaceful until they arrived.
Why would they need to make an example?
So that the workers would stop rallying. No one is going to go on strike if they think they'll get killed. The security you talk of were armed and ready. The workers were pigs to the slaughter. What chance did they have?
It is obvious Mademoiselle is still upset about her brother's death, and rightly so. If the events were as Mademoiselle describes, I cannot comprehend how the security forces were able to get away with such despicable acts of violence. I know that we spoke on this, but you took ice to the Major, correct?
Yes.
This was before or after Archibald took him a bottle of whiskey.
Before.
You are sure?
It may have been after.
Wow, everybody's stories are all kinds of muddled right now.
The whiskey is kept in the cellar with all the alcohol.
It is.
Then you must have noticed him going into the cellar and returning with a bottle through the pantry, no?
Yes, I suppose I did. It must have been before then.
You seem very certain about that. It took only one question for Mademoiselle to doubt her own story. What I still cannot see is why the need for the lies. Tell me about Elizabeth yesterday.
What is there to say? Being locked away in the pantry, I don't see her for most of the day.
That may be, but she came looking for your help before dinner was served, did she not?
She wasn't feeling well, that's all.
And she came to you.
I told you, we are a family here. The girls come to Mama Reh if they have a problem, and I fix it.
When I saw her earlier, I must admit she was not looking herself. Perhaps I should check on her.
No, just leave the poor girl. She'll be fine after another bowl of my homemade soup. She just needs her rest.
Don't eat the soup, Elizabeth. I'm sure Mademoiselle Rihanna is a loving mother figure to the staff while away from their families, but her eagerness to keep me from seeing Mademoiselle Elizabeth again does not sit comfortably.
Merci, mademoiselle.
I clicked that a little too quickly. All right, let's check mind map. Oh my gosh, there's 4. None there, and that one's done. All right. We got Hugo, Elizabeth, Archibald, the murder, Rihanna, and the telephone. All right. Okay, so Rihanna's unsure about timings. We've already kind of surmised that possibly the staff may be involved in the murder. So let's see.
I must act on thought.
Okay, not that one. Possibly these could go. Rihanna unsure about the timings, and Archibald forgot that he took the whiskey to the Major. This whole story seems to be very confused.
Magnifique.
How can either of them forget something so important from only the day before? Archibald and Rihanna unsure of their stories. Yes. All right. Hugo saw the Major outside. Oh, smoking a cigar. Yes. So, the staff may be involved in the murder. Could be why Elizabeth is quite upset.
I must act on thought and fact.
Okay, just kidding. So... there's still 3 links to be made, and a lot of them don't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me, unless we're doing this type of stuff again. Elizabeth is quite upset, and Rihanna claims that she's under the weather.
Is there something I am not seeing?
Okay, not in this instance. Archie, what? What are you thinking? Medals to medals. I did see that. These ones, like I said, they bother me. So, because I also saw that one as well. But let's try it.
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover the truth.
Oh, we got blinking already. Rihanna claims she took ice to the Major, and Archibald staged a phone call. Then Hugo saw the Major outside, and Madame pays the staff very little. Okay. Oh, the worn-out boots. I thought they were the Major's. Okay, that makes sense. So the worn-out boots would go to the fact that Madame pays the staff. I just assumed they were the Major's boots. All right, so those...
What a revelation.
That goes to there. I should have known at first glance these belonged to a member of the staff, but who? Well, that's a good question. All right, and then these would go together. Hugo saw the Major outside, probably wearing a coat because it's cold.
Another success.
The Major would not have left such a fine coat in the staff area. Someone must have worn it. More importantly, however, who wore the Major's clothes? Okay, so we got an additional link when we linked these two. So we'll look at that in a minute. And then these were linked together.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
The theory that the Major had been killed during dinner was nothing but a ruse. Why are the staff covering for the real time of death? Oh, now we got another mind link as well. All right, staff... So I would normally try to link this to this, but the lines are going to be weird. The staff would be covering for the real time of death. Maybe these two linked together?
Things are beginning to become clearer.
Both Archibald and Rihanna played their parts very well. That is, until they became complacent. Why do the staff feel they need to fabricate stories? So I connected the staff are covering for the real time of death, and Archibald and Rihanna are unsure of their stories. All right, and then someone else wore the Major's coat. What is this one? I'm assuming the same person wore them.
Are finally coming together.
A staff member dressed in the Major's clothes and took his position out in the snow for the guests to see. Why would they do this? So, Archibald and Rihanna fabricated the story, goes to a staff member impersonated the Major.
What a revelation.
I almost had to relay their stories back to them both. I obviously cannot truth a word they have said. Why are the staff hiding the truth from me? Another mind link. Staff are hiding the truth because they're involved in the murder.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
It's good they have these mind maps linked up in such a way that, like, you can kind of see that the lines go nicely. Otherwise, I still would not be able to get some of these. It is a revelation I had not expected. The staff were involved in the murder. While young Inga is guilty of her own crimes associated with the blackmail, it is Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rihanna that have been an integral part in covering up and obscuring the truth of how the Major was killed. Or Kyled, depending on how you spell it. Okay, staff are involved in the murder. I don't have any more links. The staff were already suspicious to begin with, but this confirms their involvement. Are all the staff members involved? Let's talk to him. Oh, got a new mind map. I am close to revealing the truth about the Major's murder, but I must understand the roles that each and every person involved play before the final puzzle is solved. We're only in chapter 7. Unless this takes us to... Nope, that didn't take us to chapter 8. There's 9 chapters. We can't figure out the murder if we've already figured out the blackmail. Unless there's something else that's about to go down. Alright. Elizabeth mourns for Luke. Elizabeth looked white coming downstairs. Rihanna helped Elizabeth after coming downstairs. Rihanna distraught that Luke passed away. A staff member impersonated the Major. Archibald staged a phone call. Inga feels disconnected from her peers. I would imagine she's disconnected at the moment because everybody else is covering up a murder. And... Alright. So he staged a phone call. Like, this is all about staging the crime, right? So let's try to put these two together.
Come, my little gray cells. We...
Guess not. Okay, so the other ones that I would expect to link up, there's supposed to be 3 of them. Well, let's try this one. Like I said, is she disconnected because all the other staff are involved?
Magnifique.
I'm confident Inga isn't part of the cover-up that has clearly been a focus for the other staff. Cool. I'm assuming the other 2 are these ones. So Elizabeth looked white while coming down the stairs, and Rihanna helped her. Rihanna helped Elizabeth.
I cannot see the logic in this.
Oh, just kidding.
Perhaps a second look...
Because I assumed that probably they're mourning together.
Magnifique.
I cannot imagine the pain they have felt losing Luke. His memory will live on in their hearts. Okay, we still have 1. So potentially, is it Elizabeth? That's, I think you'd mentioned, Steph, that you find it curious that Elizabeth is nowhere to be found for a very long time. Maybe it's because she was the one impersonating the Major?
This will not get me any closer to my goal.
Okay, nothing blinking yet, which is okay. I think we could probably figure this one out. So if that link hadn't been present before this one, I'd probably be trying to link Elizabeth, the grief to the fact that they're involved in the murder, but that link was already present before this popped up. So let's try to put these 2 together, see what happens.
Order and method. That is the...
All right, what have we not tried to link here? Oh, maybe that would be a weird link. Let's try it.
Come, my little gray cells.
Okay, well, those 2 make sense.
What a revelation.
So that was Elizabeth looked white coming down the stairs. It was now linked to the staffer involved with the murder. Elizabeth looked pale, and the other members of staff were were busy with their duties. She must have found the body, but did she play a part in the murder? Ooh, another link. Elizabeth found the body. That's, yeah, we kind of already figured that out. Maybe that's why Rihanna helped her?
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Although her duties are primarily focused in the kitchen and pantry, I don't recall seeing her. Oh, we got 2 more links now. Rihanna wasn't seen after Elizabeth found the corpse. We somehow have 2 links. We open this one up. Okay, so maybe it is Elizabeth or Rihanna then that impersonated the Major.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Impersonating the Major was Rihanna's role in the plan. Why it was necessary, I am not sure of yet. Why did she feel the need to cover for Elizabeth? Okay, still only one. So I think we already tried to link this to this, yeah. Maybe this also links to the staffer involved in the murder?
I must take a different approach if I am to
That's right. The mind link popped up after this, so maybe it's these two. Archibald staged the phone call, and Rihanna... Well, why would that be linked to that? Could be these two, I suppose. Elizabeth and Rihanna both grieve for Luke, and Rihanna wasn't seen after Elizabeth found the corpse. They're kind of all in this together.
This will not get me any closer.
Okay, well then let's try the other one. Was Archibald staged the phone call? Goes with this one.
Things are beginning
There we go.
to become clearer.
Archibald's acting skills came into play to cover for a member of the staff, but who? All right, another link popped up. Archibald was covering for a staff member. So, potentially for Elizabeth?
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
The staged phone call was Archibald's assignment. He went to great lengths to protect Elizabeth, but why did he feel the need to cover for her? While young Inga is guilty of her own crimes associated with blackmail, it is Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle... We already said this. Yes, because the Major was Kyled. All right, got it. All right, we finished that mind map. I now have all the pieces of the puzzle. I must return to my room and place them together until the result reveals itself. It is time for my little gray cells to go to work. I am so close to uncovering the truth. So we have one link in investigate the murder. Oh gosh. So I'm assuming Archibald staged the phone call to cover for Elizabeth, and Rihanna was covering for Elizabeth.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Yeah, and like you said, Steph, still they're already linked because the staff are involved in the murder, but oh well. How could I have allowed this to slip through my grasp? Elizabeth is the murderer. It's her. I cannot believe I did not see it, blinded by my own trust. When I look back now, the clues were there, staring me in the face. I spent my time chasing connections between the guests. Their motives and agendas were more than enough to raise suspicion, but while distracted by them, I failed to notice the one absent member of the household. What I still cannot grasp is why. I promised myself that after that fateful day in the capital, I would not let my judgment steer me adrift, but once again, it is I left looking the fool. There is nothing more that can be done tonight. By the way, achievement that we must have finished chapter 7 because that's what chapter 7 was called, was the family. There's nothing more that that can be done tonight. I must at least try to rest my head in preparation for confronting Mademoiselle Elizabeth in the morning. Yep, we're on to chapter 8. So we're definitely not going to be finishing this evening. So I'm probably going to go ahead and end the episode here. What in the world? Has an elephant escaped and made its way to the second floor? Oh dear Lord, that's why there's 2 more chapters. Something else just went down. It sounds as though it is coming directly from above me, but that is the mysterious storage room. All right, guys. Well, we're going to have to figure that out next time because there's just not enough time to unfortunately finish both chapters yet tonight. Since it's getting a little bit late here in my time zone. So we're going to call this here, and then hopefully we'll be able to finish chapters 8 and chapter 9 the next time. And then we will be able to know the full details of the entire investigation. So I hope you guys can join me next time. And for now, I'm going to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to like and comment. Also subscribe so that you get notified of future videos. But for now, my name is Hawk, and this has been Agatha Christie. And I will talk to you guys next time.